In your eyes, I see the wisdom of the world in your
Favorite song by our friend Carolyn Gebhard. And
Hello.
thank you for being here. I'm going to do a little introduction here for a minute. I want to welcome people, everybody, and I know this will be recorded. This will be here for other people to ask questions regarding real estate, uh, regarding escrow works. And if you don't know how it is, and you're thinking about buying or selling a house or refinancing, you're going to hear from an expert on this, which will give you some introduction here. I want to first welcome everybody that's here. I know it's a hot afternoon. Probably everybody's relaxing, having a good afternoon here. We have here Carolyn Gebhard, very successful professional escrow officer in LA, actually Torrance, California. She's in the real estate industry, and when you get to hear more, we're gonna learn the experience, everything she has to share, which can help us along the process, which is what I like. I like working on it. So, Carol, good afternoon. Thank you for giving us the time for the interview, which I know we get a great example for other people. Maybe there's other persons, young persons or older, whoever that's thinking about how escrow works, and maybe in the future they're thinking about joining like you did at a special age, which we'll share later. Um, so, or any other business, I'm sure you got great info, great gold nuggets in there for us to learn, and we want to definitely uh, get all the stuff that you have. So first, thank you for being here and giving us your time, Carol. Appreciate it.
No problem. My pleasure.
Yes. So, Carol, I know that we're going to dig into the escrow business, how escrow works, and all that stuff. But at the same time, we as people, like we know it's a long process. We know it's 30, 45 days, sometimes 60. And it's good that we deal with a professional. So I want to, we'll get to that part, but I want to learn a little bit more so people here know, hey, that's why Carolyn is like that. And I learned something extra a few minutes ago, which is nice. So, Carolyn, tell me about the beginnings. Were you born here in LA?
No, I was born in Denver, Colorado.
Denver, Colorado. And when you came to LA, how old were you?
The last time I came, when we finally landed here again, it was I was 15.
15 years old. Okay.
Yeah.
Colorado is super, all the seasons, right? Good, clean weather. Roberta here. Uh, so you came here probably during the high school years, maybe sophomore, junior.
Right.
Okay. Right. So keeping it here, what was your first job? Do you remember? Was there anything besides escrow that you worked on as a job?
Well, I did help my dad during tax season. He did taxes part-time. But my first real job was at Brighton Escrow in Hermosa Beach.
At an escrow company? That what you
Yes.
said? Hmm.
Yes.
What did you do there? Because you were still
I started out as a receptionist, and I learned how to type full reconveyances, and I learned how to type what used to be the closing statement of the HUD.
I remember the HUD. Yep, I remember that. So, and then, so almost right away, you kind of were working at a escrow field at a young age. And
I had a really good teacher.
yeah,
My manager at the time was really good teacher.
yeah. And how did you get into that though? How did you get into the escrow? You said it was what, 17 years? Were you 17 at that time when you started?
I was looking for a substitute job, and the business department at Maricosta High School had different applications, and I went and interviewed at Brighton, and I ended up getting the job.
Awesome. Okay, and that was it's a very successful restaurant company too for a long time. So you started working there as a typing up closing statements and things like that. Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
And how long did you?
I worked there for 17 years. They let me go to college, and I worked there part-time. And when I got out of school, they offered me a full-time position. And ultimately ended up managing that office.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
Nice. So from typing stuff to the office manager. It's pretty good. A lot of responsibility there. A lot of responsibility. You know, Carolyn, in the when you were going to college at that time, were you studying something else? And but escrow kept pulling you back.
I was a history major with a minor in business.
Okay.
Not that I'm using it, but
Hey, somehow that helped because they were pretty thorough on your work. And like so, let me ask this other part. How do you organize? How do you organize yourself every day now, and the things that you do? Because you're a full-time educator. That's what you do. How do you get yourself organized? How do you start your day?
well, I open up my email and see what's the most important thing that needs to be taken care of. I also keep a calendar that tells me when things should be back, like when the earnest money deposit should be in, or when the payoff statement should be back, preliminary title report should be back.
Yeah.
Because you can't remember all this stuff. You need little reminders.
Yeah. So you have a template or something that you put a date and everything there for each file, and you have to check.
Right.
Okay. All right. And I know right now you're working at the owner escrow, and when I met you, I forgot the name of the company. What was it? Is that it?
Yeah, I worked at Beach Cities and you were at Remax.
Right, but we're like in building. I forgot if it was called Beach Cities Escrow or Chicago Title Escrow. I really forgot.
Definitely Beach Cities Escrow, and then it got sold to Chicago Title.
That's what happened. Okay, great. And that's how I met you. That's how I met you back in the days. And the work doesn't change. It's the company. Because, you keep improving. You keep looking at a good opportunity. And right now you are at the owner's escrow, which is located in Florence. What sets that? What made you go into that company? Because I know you could choose from several, and I'm pretty sure you get recruited to another. What made you select the particular company?
It's still owned by a title company, even though it's small. And the what I want to say, the main company is actually Property ID Financial Disclosure. So Mr. Siderman has been in business for as long as I have. And so that gave me a comfort zone. I still wanted to work for a title company.
Gotcha. You're doing it because you're escrow, and they have a title and the escrow division. So yes. What sets it apart? I know that the all escrows have kind of the same job as realtors, have the same procedure. What made you work with that company? Is there any specific features or any advantages that help you decide to be with the escrow company?
It allows me to do some escrows that are different, and I could under an independent company. I do some holding escrows, and I also do Indian lease land out in Blythe. So it gives me a little bit more flexibility.
Oh, okay, good. It makes your job you're able to take different escrows that sometimes you're limited with the other company.
Right.
We're gonna get into what goes into an escrow, but you've been doing this for a while. Okay, tell us how long you've been in the business, the escrow business.
I started in escrow when I was a senior in high school in 1976. And once I graduated, I worked as the assistant to the manager of the Brighton Escrow in Hermosa Beach. And ultimately, she said, "You ready to run a desk?" And I'm like, "What?"
You went the desk?
But she said, "That's the right answer. You're good to go." And so, and then, like as I said before, ultimately I ended up managing that company.
Yeah. I know you, but I like you to say, what do you consider key to your success, your work is? What's the main thing that, this is Carolyn?
Being an escrow officer is literally a big part of who I am. I mean, I'm a wife and I'm a daughter and I'm a sister, but being an escrow officer is the biggest part. And I do take pride in doing the job well. I'm the first one to say, you could have done better.
You always want to do very good. You always want to do it better, and I like that. You're always like improving whatever you do. It's really good. So, is there a particular thing that you say? What is the greatest strength is for Carolyn?
Say again, I'm sorry.
What's your greatest strength?
My greatest strength? I'm very patient. And I'm organized. I'm kind of anal that way.
You are organized. And you got this soft voice that's not intimidating, which is nice. I like that. Very soft. Almost like Diana Krall. Like that. Talks nice. And I know why you like her. It's a nice thing. It kind of makes you relax, too. Her music. So, being in the business for 40 years, you see so many things as going in there and from, if you're using a typewriter for a long time to record the computer. Tell us a little bit what an escrow person is. What is an escrow officer? I know you're the manager of the office too, but what is an escrow officer's job? Because I want people to understand that I'm going to share this in my my real estate thing and in different pages that I have, and I like people to understand what the real escrow is. Because a lot of times they hear the word escrow or they see signs in escrow or they don't know what it means, but teach us or share with us what's the job of an escrow officer. Why do we need it?
An escrow officer is an unbiased third party that handles the documents and the money. So basically, we follow the contract, we take instructions from the agreement, we open the title order to make sure that we're going to end up with clear title. We, notify the buyers how to send the money in via secure email for the wiring instructions, or if they're going to bring by a check, we do that. We order the documents, we review the loan come in to see what the bank is still looking for in order to fund.
Okay. All right. So say that as a realtor, as realtors, so there's not going to be some like newer realtors or people like getting into the real estate business like a potential new real estate agent. So when you are the person that gets after the offer's accepted, gets the process going towards the close, right? You take a deposit. We are going to send you the information, and then the listing agent, a person who has the property to sell, send you the information. You collect all the info. You reach the other party, and nowadays people are wiring their money too, right? Instead of coming in many times or not.
Right. And what we've been doing is when we ask that we get the buyer's direct email address, and then we send the wiring instructions via secure encrypted email. We also tell them that we have no problem calling for them to call us to confirm the wiring instructions because there is so much fraud going on right now.
Exactly. That's very important for people to know that that part, the buyer, when they're putting the deposit, when they're buying a house, it's always best if you're going to wire it to talk to you directly, to get you guys in conversation, because the money has to be directly to you, because we've seen episodes or times where people were intercepting an email and sending it another way, and the money never got there. So yes, so that's one of the things that's been happening a lot more lately, being more cautious, right?
Yeah, because real estate agents and escrow companies and title companies and lenders too, we have a target on our back when it comes to cyber criminals.
Sure do.
So we have to be exceptionally careful.
Definitely, definitely. So okay, all right. So you get a deposit, from a buyer, which is good. We get a part of the contract, and you said that you follow the instructions on the contract, whatever they are. This is the initial deposit. This is the closing time, and this is what they're going to do in between. Um, and along with that, you type or read some paperwork that we call escrow instructions, which is the beginning part. Can you tell us how that works, and also if you can explain to us about documents are included, like state information, all those things. So
What I normally do is do supplemental joint escrow instructions, which means that I'm literally using the purchase agreement as my contract, and I'm just adding the general provisions of the escrow company to my instructions. That way, it's not an interpretation issue. I'm reading exactly what you agreed upon.
got it, got it. We follow exactly what we agreed originally in the contract. Because it wasn't like that before, right? Many years ago, we typed
it used to be that we typed this long novelette, and but it's much better to use the contract itself.
I think so. Everything, nothing changes. So in that paper, in that escrow instructions, for the buyer or for the seller, for the buyer has certain things, for the seller has certain things. But let's say for a buyer, because it's sometimes the question, what is this paperwork called? Statement of information. I know they're getting a loan and all that good stuff. Besides signing things, what is explanation for a statement of information that you can share
Okay.
in easy terms?
A statement of information is very important because the title company needs to do what's called a general index to make sure that there aren't any liens or encumbrances against either the buyer or the seller that could affect the closing. And it's also important for people to realize that they shouldn't send a statement of information over the email. And if they do, they should secure it because it's got their driver's license, their social security number. I mean, you're just giving away the store.
Wow. So that is not, you don't want to email that anymore, right? Not anymore.
Well, you can email it if you can send it encrypted, which the title companies do that with their wiring instructions, or you can fax it. And I know people go, oh, that's so old-fashioned, but it's important because you're protecting their confidentiality.
You know what? That's a great point, Carolyn. That's a great point. I wasn't thinking about that. I wasn't thinking about that. Well, of course, people intercept the wiring information. They can intercept that information too. So easy.
Well, I had an escrow a couple years ago where the buyer literally told me that she had her identity stolen because she was complaining about it was so hard to get into the encrypted email.
Yeah.
And I reminded her, don't send your statement of information back by email. Mail it to me, fax it to me, but don't send it by email. She turned around and emailed it to me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Very good. I still got
Not good.
I still got a fax, Carolyn, but not real fax. I got an e-fax, and probably you do too.
Fax counts.
Right? So it's like, it's an email, and I scan it, I send it to you. So I hope it works. Okay. So the purpose of that form is to, let's say in the Hispanic market, let's say somebody's name is, Luis Lopez, let's say, in LA County, I mean, it's probably going to be like a million Luis Lopez. So that form specifically asks you different things, right? Like your age, where you live, all those things, right?
It asks you where you've lived for the last 10 years. It asks you where you worked for the last 10 years. It asks you for your social security number, your driver's license number.
Okay.
All the things the title company uses to determine if there's any judgments or rights, and they can see that stuff because of the social security number and the addresses.
Yes. And since we're talking about the subject, many times things don't come out. You know, I'm talking about the buyer side, that the buyer has been like kind of truthfully to their realtor or to their lender, and that's when things pop up, such as uh, garnishments or child support, stuff like that, right? You know, what things have you seen that people act like they're surprised that has come up when you ran those?
Well, I noticed lately in some of the refinances that I've been handling that if there's an issue like that, we'll get the statement of information really early in the game and submit it to the title company. And we'll either find out, yes, that's a direct hit and it's them and we need to order a satisfaction and a demand, or no, it's not them and the title company issues a supplemental, which makes the lender more comfortable. Because the lender's going to see some of this stuff on the credit report anyway, but they want to confirm that the title company is still going to be good.
Right. Okay, so it's very important to get that out of the way fast, and the best way to get it to you from here on is by email. I mean, by fax. Which I'm gonna keep an eye on that. Okay, that's for the same thing for the seller, right? I mean, they gotta check there if they have any judgments or liens on it. Which, when they're selling their house, I mean, they gotta be paid off. You know, sometimes they gotta what we call mechanics lien, or they kind of forgot it a long time ago. What do you normally see on SI that that comes to your mind when they do on sellers that have come up?
What normally is going to trigger a question and asking for the SI earlier is when we get the title report, you review the title report, and you see if the taxes are paid, you see if there are any loans against the property, and that's also when any liens or judgments are going to show up against the seller specifically.
And many times I think that like if anybody has an IRS lien or an IRS installment thing, they don't really show up on the credit report, but they do come up on the SI. Is that right?
They do show up on the SI. Occasionally they show up on the credit report, but in the seller case, it's going to be in the preliminary title report. It's going to show, and that's when you're going to be looking for that statement of information to determine if it's really our guy or not. And if there is an IRS lien, there's a special form, an 8288, that the seller needs to fill out before the IRS will even talk to you.
Okay, all right. Have you had? Okay, great. So, any other paper that you think we should bring out that goes part of the escrow instructions?
On the seller's side, we normally include the 593, the 1099, and FERPTA. And it's really important that the seller complete the first page of the 593.
Can you tell us what a 593
will make you exempt from withholding?
Well, okay. What's a 593? What normally is involved?
The 593 is the form that tells the escrow officer whether or not the seller has to pay funds to the franchise tax board. If it's home and they check the box on the first page that it's their home, then they become exempt. It's not an issue.
So if they live at the house, they usually don't have to withhold anything.
Exactly.
If it's a rental property, they're going to hold about 3.3% of the sales price.
That's correct. And if it is a rental property, they should discuss with their CPA or their tax consultant how to complete the form.
Got it. But in a lot of cases, you kind of seen that they have to withhold. I kind of seen that on my end when clients. I kind of tell them you might have that, but talk to your accountant because we're giving them like a next sheet or an estimated one. I'm not an accountant, but just ask just in case. So at least we brought it up and they do it on. Okay, so we have the 583.
We have the 1099 because I have to report to the IRS that the transaction existed.
Okay.
And it's up to the CPA or when the seller does their tax returns. Just show on their tax return that they had, closing costs that they can write off, whatnot. But I have to report if there was a sale.
Oh, okay, great. The 1099. Was there another form? I think you said another.
The FERPTA.
Seller's FERPTA.
That's telling us if the seller is a United States citizen or not.
Okay, got it. And on the okay, good. So that's about it, right? As far as paperwork that they have to provide to you filled out to get
Yeah.
you do your research.
In the buyer's paperwork, I'm going to ask for their insurance. I'm probably going to give them the preliminary change of ownership, but a lot of times they don't know how to figure it out, how to complete it. And what I do is I save that, so when we have the loan documents and the escrow package, I'll re-include it so it can be done prior to closing.
Okay. So Carolyn, great on that. Advancing towards like the closing, the title is good. You know, they check the title report, everything's good. Everybody approves all their fees. I mean, it's somehow normal. Uh, Before this coronavirus stuff like that, buyers normally would come to sign the loan paper, the loan documents we call it. Do they normally would come to your office to sign them, or do you see them getting signed at a different place, or maybe with a traveling notary, or how is it most on your end?
With for the convenience of the customer, a lot of times we send the traveling notary out. Since I worked for Chicago Title, I have a tendency to use notaries that are still approved by them because they have higher standards than a lot of the other notaries. I don't want bad things to happen.
That's why you take precautions. And I do remember several of the clients having that traveling notary in many occasions. I think it's convenient for them too, because they don't have to drive.
It's not expensive for the convenience that it allows the customer.
Yeah, I think so. Okay, so they signed that. Do you have cases where the customer says, you know, I want to come over instead of before the coronavirus? I know you got to be a little bit away. I want to come over and sign the escrow instructions. Let's say when everything's back to normal. That also happens, right? When the seller.
I had sellers come in before the coronavirus got to the level that it is now. I had some investors come in to sign their loan documents, and we used a conference room because they have a notary.
You are a notary too. Okay, awesome. So hopefully, because I do sometimes I have, we may have clients, other realtors may have clients that they want to come to you, which is okay. You know, how are you doing it?
Okay.
Yeah. So at this time, how is this new COVID-19 affecting the escrow business side as far as handling things? Have you taken, I don't know, tell us, because as realtors, we have some changes to make on our own.
Say that again. I'm not sure I understood the question.
I'll recap my question. How has the coronavirus or COVID-19, whatever people want to call it, how has that affected the way you run your business now? Does it change anything?
Well, I have more from home lately, so hence the laptop, and my office number actually rings onto my cell number, to my cell phone.
Okay.
And I have a scanner and a copier here at home. When I am getting loan documents, I go into the office, but I basically lock myself in and work.
Dude, you got to a lot of important things to type in there. Awesome. We have a lady that says Lori Grisham. She is one of the best of the best. Follow her instructions. She's very trustworthy. So that's from Lori Grisham. She's sending a message to her. And she says, great. All right. So, and sales, of course, sales. You also do refinances. Right now, I'm pretty sure you're gonna get busier and busier on that.
Yeah, I've been seeing that. I do commercial and residential refinances, so I'm seeing more residential ones right now.
Okay. What else do you do? What other escrows do you do? Because I know a couple of them, but I'd like you to say it. What escrows things do you do? Like, of course, right? 31 exchanges.
I do exchanges, although most of the time now they're done with an exchange company, an accommodator. I do exchanges. As I mentioned earlier, I do in Leaseland, I do it in Blythe, and I recently handled one in Palm Springs, which was quite interesting.
Okay, all right. Yeah, and to be an escrow officer, is there a different kind of license that you have to have?
I am actually licensed under my company.
Okay. But they do have to have some sort of license, some sort of whatever it may be. Like a real
I go to classes to continue my education.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Pretty good. And good. This is good about it. Anything else you'd like to share about escrow that I missed? Demands or uh, what the owner in the house or something like that. Have you any stories you can share that we can learn from to be more careful on doing things? Any stories, any quotes, anything you can.
Well, I do have to say that I review the demands. Sometimes there's a repayment penalty that nobody's aware of or the seller forgot about.
Yes.
I try and keep track of when the demands are expiring. So when I get the loan documents, I do what's called a pre-audit. And sometimes I do it before, like when the lender first asks for my fees. So I'll make a list, a handwritten list that says what I'm missing. And as those items come in, like the seller's signed escrow instructions and commission, I check it off. So like if there's a termite or home warranty that's on my list, when I do the final pre-audit, I'll let the parties, both agents know, hey, I'm missing this and this, just so they're aware.
Okay. All right. Also, you also do short sales, which they're in that menu now, but they could be in the future. And you've done a few of those, right? Short sales?
I didn't hear you. You went out a little bit.
Okay, I say you also do short sales as part of the,
Yes.
part of the.
I've done short sales.
And
It's
they're not.
easier to tell you what I don't do than it is to tell you what I do.
Yeah, so you can.
Because I don't do bulk transfers and I don't do mobile homes.
That's right. Well, you know what? No mobile homes, and what's the one that you don't do?
Bulk transfers. That's business sales.
Oh, okay. Business opportunity. Yeah,
Right.
I don't do that either. It's another one, and I don't understand it, and I don't want to understand it. That's somebody else.
Well,
Okay.
there's too much room in the sponge. That's your brain, and if you put too much in, something that you really need might leave.
Yeah, no. But you do commercial, right? That you can do apartments, 4, 8, 10, 20. Is that normal that you can do?
I have one in escrow right now that has 13 units. I closed an escrow in December in Texas, actually, for a Jack in the Box.
Wow. So you do. Can you share us any things we can learn or we can use for future? To be careful. Anything you can tell us about escrows? I don't know, crazy ones or regular ones, so maybe people can understand. They're not all normal. Sometimes
I suggest to just be very aware of each transaction. It's very helpful to actually talk to the principals because then you have a feeling for them and you know a little bit about what's going on in their lives, so you understand why they're behaving the way they are.
True.
It's really helpful.
Okay. Well, when I met you, started working, and I always like the fact that you are, man. I don't never see you mad. Number one, you're always like same like right now, huh? So the patience, you must have developed up to keep yourself level, and I always see you organized, thorough, and you just kind of ask us what we want as an agent. Some preferences of how to do certain things, and I like that. Um, so, what would you recommend to maybe future persons that want to learn about escrow? I mean, what would you tell them? Because we as agents, we know you're a pro. So.
Well, anybody that want to get into escrow, it's a learning process. You start at the back end of it and learn why you're doing the things you're doing. Like when I started, I sent out title policies. I did the closing statements. They would be penciled in for me, and I would type them. So I learned the process backwards. And that's really, it's a better way to learn because you understand why you're doing what you're doing. And as you're doing that, you're always looking for safety nets to just kind of make sure something doesn't fall through the crack.
Okay. You definitely did different things, so that's pretty good. So, what's next for Carolyn Gebhard? What is it? Anything else you are working on? Any other goals for that you're working towards?
Not really. We finally sold our house at the lake, so that made me happy because we weren't going all the time.
Okay.
But yeah, just be a good sister, be a good wife, be a good daughter. I'm helping my dad every day. I call him on FaceTime because he's still in the hospital. So, and I think it helps him to show pictures of the kitty cats and for my husband to say hi to him, and it puts a smile on his face. So that's that's what I do.
Great daughter, great escrow officer, and a great person. I've seen you many times, know you a lot of times, and you're pretty much well known in the South Bay area. Of course, throughout many ages in the beach area, South Bay area, and pretty much respected too. So and I've been following you pretty much wherever you go. The escrows that
I appreciate that. That's wonderful.
Yeah, and that's how I like to work with people. Like you build a relationship. You kind of know how to do their job, and I don't have to think about anything. I already know how you are. My clients are like you. I wanted them to feel comfortable and that they're protected the whole time by somebody that will see everything and will let me know if something's going on that could be that needs attention. And like in any sale, anything, there's always things. Not all of them go smoothly, but we're here to solve things. And the earlier we know, and you will bring them out whenever we have to deal with them. I appreciate you for all those things, and I wanted to bring you here because I want other people to get to know you. Maybe other realtors. I have a lot of realtor friends, and they also have their stuff. But at some point, if anybody drops the ball on their end, they're looking for a great escrow officer, they can talk to you and give you a shot because that's how really many times I have been able to work with good people, just by referrals or somebody that has been using it for a while. So, Carol, what number could they reach? I'm going to type in here. What number could people reach you if they want to open a new escrow? They have questions.
They can reach me at 424-371-8814.
Okay, so I'm going to drop it in here, my thing here. 424-371-8814.
14.
Yeah, I'm writing like all wrong. 424-371-8814. So people can reach you there, and and they can get a good professional there. And I just want to thank you for your time. I know you got busy files, and you'll have one from me pretty soon before the next week. And I can't wait to start a new one with you and several more. So we have several past clients that are reaching out to pick them up. And it's good to have a good pool of people that we can depend on. And definitely you're the officer for that. So, anything else you'd like to say before we finish?
No, I wanted to thank you, Antonio, for the opportunity to do this. This has been great.
Yeah, thank you so much. Hi to Dave. I'm pretty sure he's going to cook something nice because he's a chef, right?
Yeah, he likes to cook.
Yeah, tell him hi, and when this is over, we'll get together, have a nice lunch, and so I want to thank you for your time. Stay safe out there, you and the family, and
stay healthy. Take care of your family.
Will do. You take care, okay? We'll see you.